with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the main got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's the local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Here we go on this Monday evening in the city. 6 o'clock, a little past, but glad to have you with us for this edition of Real Talk Memphis. It's always, I'm adjusting mics over here. It's always good to be here with you all in the studio. There we go. And have you with us for the next hour. We have a great show in store for you, and we hope you stick around for every minute of it. I will lay out the guest list in just a moment. But first and foremost, how do you get this fine piece of radio broadcasting, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are several ways to do it. Right now, we are live and local on 91.7 on your FM dial. That will be WYXR. You can also find us on the WYXR app. We are also broadcasting live on TuneIn this evening. And we will be live streaming the show, so you can check it out on Facebook Live as well tonight. And when the show posts in a day or two, you will be able to find us on YouTube. And if you're a podcast person, and who isn't these days, you can always find us. We're a podcast, so you can find us wherever it is you like to get your podcast. So there you go. Plenty of ways to find this radio show, and we are happy if you found us tonight. Appreciate you as always. In terms of our guest list this evening, and boy, you know, there are times when there's the what I call the roller coaster effect in terms of news and things that are happening. Well, there's a lot going on these days, no doubt about that. My first guest, who's actually in studio with me. He'll be joining me in just a couple of minutes here. You may have heard of him. He's the Shelby County District Attorney. His name is Steve Mulroy. He's sitting right behind me if you're watching us on Facebook Live. And he'll be joining me in just a couple of minutes. A lot of news involving him and just the landscape going on in Memphis and Shelby County. We'll get his take on a few things this evening. A little bit later on, we will be talking with the Memphis and Shelby County School Board Chair. Her name is Natalie McKinney, and she was at the county commission this afternoon, and we'll tell you why she was there and what came out of that meeting a little bit later on. And in the second half hour, now we were supposed to have Wendi C. Thomas with us tonight, but she had a family emergency, so she can't make it. But fear not, we still have some folks here that will be joining me from MLK 50. Catherine Burgess and Ayanna Watkins, who is the co-executive director of that fine publication. So there you go. That's a good look at who's going to be on the show this evening. So stick around and enjoy all of that. Now, birthdays are very special. Birthdays are very important, and more importantly, they symbolize your next trip around the sun. It made it around from 1 year to this year. And so we like to celebrate those who are in that category. In other words, if you had a birthday today, we like to shout you out and celebrate you to the world. But I can't do that until I say, hit it, Brent. Happy birthday! Going out to the following folks today. Jerry Fania, I know him. Jerry's celebrating his birthday today. Samantha Westbrook, happy birthday to you. Edward Stanton, celebrating his birthday today. Cardell Oren, is celebrating a birthday today as well. Ruth Carter, a happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Kitty Pugh. And happy birthday to Robin Cook. Now, to each and every one of you, I hope it's been a day full of love and laughter. I hope you had a little celebration today, a little birthday, cupcake or ice cream or whatever people have these days for birthdays. But from all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, happy birthday to each and every one of you. And we hope to be here next year for your next trip around the sun. Thanks, Brent. All right, and before we move on to some news and notes, I wanted to acknowledge, of course, that many of us are still reeling from what we heard on Friday, which was the death of state legislator. I'm sorry, I'm looking at notes here. State Representative G.A. Hardaway. Sudden passing at the age of 71 after a brief illness. I knew him for a long time, and he's been a guest on this show, and just a wonderful representative, a wonderful human being, and he fought for his people tirelessly, and he absolutely, without question, will be missed. We heard this afternoon that the arrangements have been made. He will be lying in state at the state capitol on Thursday. So you can see him lying in repose there. The celebration of life will be held Friday at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church. So once again, we are very saddened to make this announcement, and my deepest condolences and sympathies go out to his family, to his friends, to his colleagues, to the folks that he represented, and everyone who knew and loved him best. G.A. Hardaway transitioned at the age of 71. Let's take a look at some news and notes here. The Memphis and Shelby County School Takeover bill is done. The only thing I think that needs to happen now is the governor to sign off on it, but it's done. And so that means it's going to happen. If you're not caught up in all of this, basically the next step for the folks up in the legislature is to pick a 9-member managerial board to oversee the day-to-day processes of what goes on in the Memphis city school situation with the board. In other words, they will be the managers over the board members who are already seated there. And the governor's going to pick 5 people. The head of the Senate is going to pick 2. The head of the House is going to pick 2. So there'll be 9. And again, we don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know who it's going to be. But clearly, this effort that they've been working on for about a year plus is in full effect. Now we have to see what the ramifications are going to be of it. We do know that they will have sweeping oversight, this managerial board, and they will be seated for 4 years. And after 4 years, they'll see where things are and make a decision if they decide to move forward or not. For MSCS, the school board, for their part, they have decided that they want to file suit against the state in reference to this. And this afternoon, we got some news from the county commission that said that, according to Mayor Harris, they would pay for any legal pursuits that the board would want to undertake. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes, and what the state's move or counter move or any move at all is going to affect any of this. But they made that decision this afternoon, and Mayor Lee Harris made the announcement that they will pay for the legal representation for the Memphis and Shelby County School Board. We'll talk to Natalie McKinney, the board chair, in just a few minutes about all of that. There's another bill that's been passed by the State House, which allows people to use deadly force to protect their property if they had no other option. So, if somebody's coming up on your property and there's a threat to steal something or what have you, and you feel threatened in terms of that, you can shoot them. Now, this, as far as I'm concerned, for many bills that they pass up there, I don't know how much thought they put into all of this, but this could be a very difficult situation from the legal perspective. And again, we'll be talking to DA Mulroy in just a minute about several things. So we'll see how all of that goes. In the meantime, they're also looking to pass a bill that says, well, you can carry a gun anywhere in this city. Why not the park? So now they're looking to have legislation that says that you can carry a gun in a park. So, I'm going to stay off the soapbox today. I just am. But that's just something that folks need to pay attention to. And finally, we are in the midst of a election. Next Tuesday is the big election. Between now and Thursday, if you've not early voted, you still have until this Thursday to get that done. Again, the big election, May 5th. That is next Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't done your duty, please go out and do your duty. And if you haven't done it before the 30th, please go out on the 5th and take care of that as well. That's a look at news and notes. When we take a quick break, when we come back, we are going to be joined by the District Attorney of Shelby County. His name is Steve Mulroy. My name is Chip. You know what your name is. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from Shangri-La Records, Memphis' longest-running record store. Located at 1916 Madison Avenue and open daily from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., Shangri-La is your source for vinyl, CDs, audio equipment, and more. More information, including upcoming event schedule and online shop, can be found at shangrilarecordsmemphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. And as stated before earlier, we have a special, slide on up. We have a special guest in studio with us today. I'm sorry, my phone is all up and everything else going on. Thanks, Brent's looking out for me. I have a very special guest in studio. He's been here several times before, and I'm glad that he could take a few minutes on his wedding anniversary to be with us this evening. He is the Shelby County DA. His name is Steve Mulroy. And congratulations, sir, on your wedding anniversary.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Chip.
And how many years, you said?
35.
Wow. How's that feel?
It feels like it was only 45 years.
Oh, okay.
No,
all right. Okay.
Just joking.
Well, we're not going to hold you long because we know you have a dinner date with your lovely wife this evening. So, but we're glad that you made it in to talk with us a little bit today. If you had to assess overall, generally speaking, how things are going for you in your office, what would you say about that?
I think things are going pretty well, despite, not because of, the state legislature.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Obviously, this thing with Senator Brent Taylor, and now this law they passed, I guess, or a bill or whatever it was, to basically say, and I want you to walk me through this a little bit here, and I don't want to get it wrong, that in terms of prosecuting cases, they have a choice to remove you from office if they don't feel like that is being done? Am I on the right track with that? Because that sounds crazy enough. But what is this?
Well,
all about?
you're close. It's not quite that. It's still crazy. So they tried to remove me from office, or at least Brent Taylor did, back in late 2024, early 2025.
Yes.
And it went nowhere. It didn't even get a committee vote because everyone knew there was no grounds to it. And now the new thing that they've passed this bill, the Attorney General, the unelected Attorney General, can oversee and audit every prosecutorial decision I make if the case comes from the federal task force. So from bail all the way on through the final disposition of the case, he gets to audit every one of those things. If there's confidential information, he's entitled to look at it. He can send that confidential information to the legislature, and we're supposed to just trust them, not to disclose it.
Yeah.
But perhaps the most troubling thing, Chip, is that it says that if the Attorney General is convinced after his, oversight of the locally elected district attorney that I am not attending and prosecuting according to law, that's a direct quote, then he can ask the Supreme Court to appoint an interim pro tem temporary DA to handle all the task force cases. So basically there would be a parallel DA in Shelby County.
Wow.
Running alongside me.
Wow. What? I mean, that's pretty crazy, and I don't know that we've ever seen anything like this before. But from your perspective, where did this come from? How did this even emanate? Because based on what you just described, a lot of that doesn't make any sense to me at all in terms of you and the workload that you do on a daily basis, let alone this safe task force stuff. I mean, where does this come from?
Well, some of it does come from Senator Taylor, right? Because a long time ago, he decided that he could get clicks and likes and free press and, become the darling of his right-wing base by painting a target on my back and going after the supposedly woke DA. And he's been doing it nonstop for a couple of years now. So he convinced the people in Nashville that I was the supposed weak link in the chain with the federal task force cases, which is nonsense because we treat the federal task force cases the same as any other case. I tell my prosecutors, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. An aggravated assault is an aggravated assault, whatever. We've got the data to prove it. We prosecute over 40,000 cases a year, more than any other district attorney in the state by far. More
you
than
said 40,000.
40,000 regular cases. If you want to include traffic and environmental cases and juvenile cases, it's over 100,000 cases a year.
It's incredible.
Just this year alone, just since January, Chip, we've convicted well over 2,000 felony defendants and meted out over 4,000 to 5,000 years in prison sentences. I mean, we are doing the work more than anybody else in Tennessee, more than our federal partners. No shame on them. Over 90% of these task force cases, we are the ones prosecuting it. So I don't know where they get this idea, but they decide they're going to have the Attorney General kind of be looking over my shoulder and second guessing every decision that I make, even though the Tennessee Constitution is clear. It's the locally elected district attorney that is supposed to make those decisions. Now, this language they use about failure to attend and prosecute according to the law, that is a direct steal from part of the Tennessee Constitution that says that if there's a vacancy in the DA office, or there's a conflict of interest in the DA office, then the locally elected judge can appoint a temporary replacement. This basically says we're going to just disregard that and have the Attorney General make the call and then have the state Supreme Court do the appointment. So not only is it unnecessary, not only is it going to waste our time, not only is it going to interfere with our job, but it's probably not even constitutional.
Is that the purpose? I mean, it seems like there's a scheme going on here, and it sounds to me like they put this, laid it out the way you laid it out, almost to say, it's impossible for them to be able to keep up with all of this, and that's why we're putting this in here so we could catch you and get rid of you. This is becoming this whole issue with the State House and some of the things that they're coming down with is very troubling. This is very troubling, and not to mention all the other stuff that we've seen, but I would imagine to you as well.
It's been going on for years, not just with me, but as you pointed out earlier, the school board, a million other things where they try to micromanage Shelby County and take away, but Nashville too. They're trying to mess with their Metro Council, mess with their airport board. So it's just of a piece with that whole trend. But the law that we're talking about, and this other law that says we have to file a report every week on every task force case. Another Brent Taylor special. What it is doing, and you kind of alluded to this a second ago. Somebody was just telling me in the office they wondered if they're trying to set us up to fail, because what they're doing is they're forcing us to take time away from the real work to fill out this busy work, this paperwork, these reports every week. And the Attorney General audit is going to interfere with us as well. If they would just let us sit back and let us do our job, we would continue the trend that we've had, knock wood, for 10 consecutive quarters of crime coming down. But they are doing things to keep us away from that job, making it less safe, not more safe in Shelby County.
If you had to sit back and assess, I was thinking about this the other day, and assess your job, your daily responsibilities, and all of the work that you and your folks do, what, in your opinion, don't people know about what it is that you do on a daily basis? I really wonder about that sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. One is that we are the ones that make bail decisions, when it's the judges that make the bail decisions. We can recommend sometimes, but most of the controversial bail decisions you hear about are made before we even get the case by judicial commissioners. That's one misconception. Another misconception is that there's this false narrative out there pushed forward by Brent Taylor and other political people in his corner.
Brent Taylor,
that we don't really prosecute cases, that we don't ever push for prison sentences, and it's just not true. The facts belie it.
One of the things that we have heard about, and this is an age-old argument based on I guess situations and circumstances. For example, the last two individuals, young people that have been killed in this town, one over at the Shelby Farms, and the other one over in Whitehaven after a prom. Were both shot by minors. 116, 117.
Yep.
So there's this question when a minor commits a major crime like murder. What is the process to determine whether or not you or your office would prosecute them as an adult or keep them in the minor status?
We would move the court to transfer the case to adult court, and the juvenile court judge makes the final decision.
Okay.
Now, typically in these cases where you have first-degree murder charges, where the minor, 16 or 17 years old, especially if they have a record, has actually pulled the trigger and caused someone to die. Typically in those cases, we do move to transfer those to adult court, and we're usually successful in that. So like the cases you just mentioned. Now, if they weren't the persons that actually pulled the trigger, or if they're much younger, 14 years old, 13 years old, or if they don't have a long criminal history, those are factors that would argue towards keeping him in the juvenile court system. But these cases you're talking about, 16 and 17-year-olds with criminal records that are pulling the trigger and committing first-degree murder, most of the time we're going to be moving to transfer those, and the court's probably going to grant it.
We talk about the Memphis Safe Task Force, and one of the things that we know is that I guess they're still here, and I guess that they're still doing what they do.
Yep.
And in terms of your office, it has obviously, because of the thousands of arrests that they made, have to put a lot of additional weight on your office.
Yep.
In terms of this whole process of the Memphis Safe Task Force, what are your thoughts?
Well, so I think it could have been done with a bit more planning. They kind of just pushed it onto us without any planning.
Yeah.
I like the fact that some of the alphabet agencies have helped us reduce our backlog of warrants, but I think the National Guard really is not worth $19 million a month. I think that money could be much better spent because they're not really doing that much. They don't have the authority to arrest or execute warrants, and thankfully so, because they're not trained to do it. I think ICE is actually counterproductive. I think it makes us less safe.
Yeah.
You've got a terrorized community that is no longer willing to report crimes, provide tips, serve as witnesses, show up to court. So that's actually making us less safe. But I think the one thing that really bugs me, Chip, is, as you mentioned, a significant increase in our caseload.
Yeah.
All right, atop an already the biggest caseload by far in the state. and no resources given to us on the back end. No extra prosecutors, no clerk's office people. The General Sessions clerk is completely overwhelmed. Nothing to help us with our already overcrowded jail. Meanwhile, I'm hearing that the U.S. Attorney's Office got 6 new full-time permanent prosecutors to help deal with the task force cases, and another 15 or 20 JAG officers on temporary loan as prosecutors. Now, I'm not begrudging them that help. I'm good for them. But they're all doing less than 10% of these task force cases. We're doing over 90% of them on top of everything else we're doing, and we're not getting any extra help at all. And for a moment, Chip, it looked like we might have some hope, because there was this bill that was going through that was going to add 2 criminal court judges to Shelby County,
right.
Which I'm all for, right? I'm thankful to Senator Paul Rose for initially pushing that thing. But originally, it had 4 prosecutors, 2 criminal investigators, and some secretaries to help staff those courts. And at the last minute, guess what they did? They took out all the support staff. So now, on top of dealing with the federal task force cases and already the highest caseload in the state, we're going to have to staff 2 more criminal courts with no additional staff.
Yeah. These are some of the things I think that people really don't understand, looking, inward in terms of what you do. That's why I wanted to ask the question, because these are questions that always seem to come up in terms of the responsibility of the work. And I'll ask you one final question. There's always this argument, and there's still an argument, even though we see statistically that crime is down. We've heard about the numbers. They're coming down. They continually come down in the whole 9 yards. It's a little difficult to have that conversation. You just had an annual ceremony that you do to with the victims,
yes.
Which is a very that's a very moving and emotional situation. So to those victims and other folks who are continually dealing with the pain of losing a loved one. Yes. How does one convince them that crime is down because they don't have a loved one anymore who's gone?
Maybe there's no way to do it. I mean, you put it just right, Chip. If you're the victim or you've lost a loved one, the statistics don't matter to you. What matters to you is your own lived experience, right? And we have to acknowledge that. But it nonetheless is the case that for the decade before I took office, violent crime was rising steadily to record levels. And within a year of my taking office, crime started to come down, double-digit percentage decreases every quarter for 10 consecutive quarters. That's 2.5 years. Now, that's small comfort if you're the one that's got your car stolen or you're the one that's lost a loved one. I get that, and we have to honor that. But, they talk about perception versus reality. Remember back in 2023, when that video went out about how easy it was to steal a Kia or a Hyundai,
I remember.
And suddenly car thefts were through the roof.
Yes.
It seemed like every day somebody you heard about their getting their car stolen. Well, we're not hearing that anymore, and that's because car thefts are down. So that's an example where people's perception and their lived reality actually matches up with statistics. Now, is it still too high? You're damn right it's still too high. We have a long ways to go. We shouldn't be popping any champagne corks. But at least the trend lines are in the right direction. And knock wood, God willing, we're going to keep working at it to keep those trend lines going down.
Well, listen, it is always good to see you because I know I always get a frank conversation from you. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Thanks for seeing you. Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. I'll extend that to my wife.
Enjoy a nice dinner tonight.
All righty.
Until we see each other again. Thank you, sir.
Take care now.
District Attorney Steve Mulroy, ladies and gentlemen, joining us in studio on the show. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to shift our gears and talk a little bit about this school situation. It's Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Looking for a school that prepares your students to excel in college and in life? Freedom Prep Academy has 5 campuses in Westwood and Whitehaven, ready to welcome new students. The Mill Branch campus is a Tennessee Rewards school for the 3rd year running, and all 5 campuses hold Level 5 status. Enrollment is now open for the 2026-2027 school year. Join the movement of freedom, where every student's story matters and every journey leads to success. You can call 901-498-1849 or visit freedomprep.org. Almadel Jaguar is proud to support WYXR, a handcrafted tequila inspired by change and conservation. More information at almadeljaguar.com.
What does being a great mentor look like? Someone who shows up, listens, and is consistent. You don't have to be perfect to be the perfect mentor to a young person. To learn how you can make a difference and join the mentoring movement, visit grizzliesfoundation.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk on this beautiful Monday evening in the city. Chip with you, and my next guest, and I'm so grateful that she find some time to visit with us this evening, has been extraordinarily busy. We all know about the Memphis and Shelby County School. I call it a takeover. You can call it whatever you want. But they're moving the ball right across the line here. So now, in theory, the State House is going to pick 9 individuals as managers, I guess, to oversee the day-to-day activities of the Memphis and Shelby County School Board. And I just had to have a conversation about this. So I'm really pleased to bring in Shelby County, Memphis and Shelby County School Board Chair Natalie McKinney joins me now. It's good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
I am doing well as it can be expected, considering.
Bless your heart. This has really been a time for so much, and I want to jump to today before I kind of move back. And so we set the table on all of this now, and you said that at the time a few days ago, we're looking at a lawsuit. We're considering filing a lawsuit. Well, today you went to the county commission, and lo and behold, we got an announcement from the mayor, Lee Harris, that said, indeed, the county would fund any legal services that you all would need in fighting this with the state. That had to make you feel pretty good, since the state sort of was playing checkers with you. They were playing chess and checkers and trying to block moves about using state funds. So where are we in all of this? How do you feel about what happened? And then I'm going to ask you more about the county commission. But today's activity leaves you what?
You mean about them
offering to pay any legal services needed for this case?
No, I appreciate that, and I think it's the right thing to do, Chip, because what I think everybody is missing here, this is not just about the school system. This is about multiple systems. This is about coming after our economic development engines, coming after our crime and safety engines, and coming after our education engine, right? So if you get those 3 things, what do you have? So you have our entire community. Sure. So I think it's important that we all understand and look at the larger picture here.
Now, one thing, and I think I may have heard you say it, but it just strikes me as a backward step. And when I say that, when you have an elected body, you were elected by the citizens of Memphis and Shelby County to the positions that you have, and you bring in a board of individuals who were not elected to oversee the day-to-day operations of the largest school district in the state of Tennessee, Is that not in your thought process? Because it sure is in mine. It seems to me that you're disenfranchising the voters, or basically saying, well, your vote really didn't count in the first place. If we could do this,
Right.
how important was your vote? I mean, that seems to be to me, that's a very, very big issue.
Oh, it's absolutely right. Your instincts are correct. Yes, it disenfranchises the voters. This whole idea of playing with language and semantics and saying, oh, this is intervention, this is a takeover. You have 9 people who basically gut or neuter our ability to make any decisions whatsoever about our buildings, about our bank account, and about our contracts and our students. So essentially, we are just sitting there doing their bidding. So you're absolutely correct. It is, there's some constitutional issues, there's some statutory issues, and we just did the special call meeting instructing our general counsel to go ahead and look into doing whatever we need to do in terms of protecting the district and, in essence, protecting our students and ultimately protecting our community and their vote.
One of the things too that I was looking at, and I find it just a tad bit ironic, is the county commission. Is this the county commission that during the heat of the battle with Dr. Fagans stepped in and said, after the decision was made, we have no confidence in our Memphis and Shelby County School Board? I believe that was the same county commission. I also think that was this the same county commission that came back and wanted to change the election cycle of half of your board who was elected in 2024 to this year's election cycle? Am I right about that? I'm just
You're absolutely correct.
So
You're absolutely correct.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
I can't make it make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'll have to put somebody on your show to ask him that question.
I mean, honestly, if you looked up irony in the dictionary, this would have to be it, because they were the same ones, and who a lot of you said, well, why are they even involved in all of this in the first place? To give us a vote of no confidence. They're the same county commission, and I don't know how many of them are for all of this, but or in terms of helping you out from the legal perspective. But this is the same group that had some very ugly things to say about performance and everything else during the Fagans factor time, and now all of a sudden they want to help. Now, my question to you is, why do you think the county and the county mayor and the county commission is willing to help in terms of this?
I think the mayor has always been supportive of keeping the clear lines of distinction between the elected bodies, and so I will say that. On the flip side, you have a lot of particularly most of the Democratic county commissioners who were supportive of us and did not vote for that vote of non-confidence. I think what you had, and I'm just going with the record, you had all of the Republicans and 3 of the Democrats who decided to side with the Republicans for that. Mm-hmm. And since then, or maybe 3 or 4 Democrats. And since then, I think people are seeing the writing on the wall. Since then, you had the state not approve the county's budget. You remember that?
I do.
So you had the state not approve the county's budget. I think they worked that out. However, I think and then you have all of these things that are going on with the state trying to take over our airport authority. Then you have the state interfering with the DA's statutory and legal rights to run his office. So when you take all of that together, I think they see the writing on the wall that this is a full-blown attack on Shelby County as a whole.
A lot of people have various opinions about this, that, and the other. And a lot of the conversation is, well, is the school board doing the job it needs to be doing? Are they not doing the job that they need to be doing? You hear a lot of these questions and comments. Do you think, just from your perspective, that people in our community have confidence in you all as a unified school board, that you can we know we have issues. Everybody knows that there's issues, right? So, but you all can govern yourselves and fix what needs to be fixed in terms of all of this. What's the vibe from your perspective?
So from my perspective, I think you have some community members who have those concerns, and those are legitimate concerns, right? After what you saw back in December of 2024,
right.
I understand that. Yeah. But I'm a person that subscribes to actions speak louder than words. And I think since then, we have clearly demonstrated that we understand what our role is in governance. I will posit to say that even when we made the decision to terminate Dr. Fagan's, we were exercising our governance in the correct way. We could have brought the community along a little better. I acknowledge that, and I've said that before, I think on your show as well.
Yeah.
But I think we have demonstrated we're doing the work for our youth. Think about it. We have the first time in 10 years we have an academic plan. First time under this board in 10 years. Secondly, we have a clear pathway for our facilities modernization. We have a facilities plan. In fact, we've started to implement that already, where we close schools, and we're working with community now to figure out what we do with those buildings, incorporating the recommendations from our community stakeholder committee that was chaired by myself and board member Sable Ote. We have a clear operational excellence plan that is been in lockstep with this audit observation recommendations. If you recall, I've said before, Dr. Richmond has been doing exactly what any new CEO comes in and does. They come in and say, what's everything look like? What's working? What's not working? Why isn't it working? Let us fix it, and let's fix it if it needs to be fixed. So I think we are doing the work, and we've also done what we said we were going to do. We're in governance training. We are in governance training where we are going to work with community. The next step is to work with community through community listening sessions to come up with our goals so that we can create the strategic plan with the superintendent and that we own it together. We came up with a local accountability plan that we want to work with all of our elected bodies and parents and other stakeholders, experts in different fields to help us with some of the challenges that we acknowledge.
Sure.
So all of this is us putting actions to work, putting actions to words.
Well, listen, first of all, thank you for coming. This is a big deal here. And everybody's going to be keeping a very close eye on things as time moves forward. I hope that, you and I, we can stay in contact and, as we go down this road. But thank you so much for taking the time this evening to come on and talk with our listeners.
If I can say one other thing.
Sure.
I want everyone to know that our children are learning every day.
Okay.
We are a level 5 district, which means that we have been consistently growing. And I need people to stop saying that our children can't read because they can. We've got I know we're graduating in the high 80%, but I don't look at that. I look at what is a ready graduate. Are they graduating and able to go off to school or engage in a career? And we went from 26% of our graduates being ready graduates to 48%. You want to know how much the state's percentage is?
How much?
54%.
Okay. All right.
So don't tell me or anyone or any of these children and their parents that they cannot read.
All right.
And they're not learning. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that.
Well, you did say it, and I appreciate you doing it. Thank you, Natalie. I really appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Chip.
Absolutely. Natalie McKinney, ladies and gentlemen, MSCS board chair. Some great information there. Let's take a quick break. We have one more guest that we're going to talk to. And they do a top flight publication in this town. Absolutely no doubt about it. This is Real Talk. I'm Chip. Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page, and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Want to reach a passionate audience who loves Memphis's arts and music scene? Sponsor WYXR and connect your brand with the city's creative community. More information at wyxr.org/sponsorship.
Support for WYXR comes from Grind City Amphitheater, announcing Wilco on Tuesday, July 7th. Tickets and more information can be found at grindcityamp.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip with you. And many of you out there have heard of a publication known as MLK 50. It is extraordinary. It truly, truly is. And it is helmed by Wendi C. Thomas. Now, Wendi was supposed to be on the show tonight, but she had an emergency that kept her from it. But I saw right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a couple of representatives from the MLK 50 joining me on the show this evening. Please welcome Ayanna Watkins. She is the co-executive director of MLK 50, along with Catherine Burgess, who is one of their fine reporters. Ladies, it is great to have you on the show. How are you tonight?
Doing well. Thanks for having us, Chip.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely that. And I have I've been a big fan of Wendy's for a long time. I've been a big fan of this publication for a long time. Ayanna, as the co-executive director, you guys sort of set the template for what is done and how it is done. Kind of give us a brief overview of the philosophy, if you will, of MLK 50, because you all do some very impactful work.
I appreciate you saying that. We all do. And we wish Wendi well. And I'm glad to stand here in her stead. We at MLK 50 do our reporting at the intersection of poverty, power, and policy. Mm-hmm. Really trying to get down to what keeps people poor, what are the systems in place that do that, and how can we lift up the folks that Dr. King would have lifted up had he still been alive.
Yeah, that's heavy duty, and there's a lot to talk about. You all have won many awards and national awards for the work that you have done in terms of all of this. And I know you all have a fundraiser coming up, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But Catherine, to you used to work at the Commercial Appeal, and you did some great work over there. First of all, what was it about MLK 50 that steered you in the direction of those folks?
Yeah, so I moved to Memphis about 8 years ago to work at the Commercial Appeal and absolutely loved it there. Got to work on some really powerful stories, work with some really wonderful people. But as I was at the Commercial Appeal, I was watching MLK 50 grow and develop and do really powerful journalism. So as I started looking for the next step in my career, I wanted to stay in Memphis and I wanted to dig into just work that was more in depth, work that was deeper, work that really had the potential to make an impact. And I was able to do some of that at the Commercial Appeal, certainly, but I think at MLK 50, I'm able to do so much more. So it was a natural progression for me in my desire to stay in journalism and stay in Memphis.
Yeah, and you've written some pretty deep and impactful stuff. I know we talked a lot about this Memphis Safe Task Force. There's been you all have had a lot of conversation about that, and then some in-depth digging about that. And we talked about the immigration piece of all of this as well, which is a very heavy-duty topic, and for many people, even today, it still is. And a lot of folks are, kind of walking around in fear of situations and circumstances. But as you started to dig in and do some of these stories, what were some of the things that you found out that maybe surprised you a bit about all of this?
I think what surprised me was how much more immigration reporting we need. I think what I learned most through this process was that immigration reporting can be very difficult. There's the fear barrier, and in our case, there was a language barrier.
Sure.
Wendy and I were both working on quite a big immigration story recently, and neither of us are fluent in Spanish. So we had to find translators and work with translators, and then get past that barrier, in addition to really just figuring out how to meet people where they were most comfortable. Are you comfortable being in a story at all? If so, can we use your middle name? Can we use your name? Should we use no name? What identifying factors can we use?
Sure.
I think what was really interesting for me was we were able to pull arrest reports from the task force. And then we were able to lay those over zip codes, and we were able to see that the majority of immigration arrests were coming from traffic stops, which really aligned up with what community members were telling us. So it really, I think, reaffirmed the importance of listening to the community and looking at those reports with that eye from what the community has told us, but also seeing that they do confirm what we've been told.
You know, the one thing about what you all do, and Ayanna alluded to it, is you dig in. I mean, this is not the Commercial Appeal or the Daily Memphian, and these the traditional newspapers. This gives you, as a journalist, I would imagine, this gives you a chance to really dig in, and use your journalistic expertise and your curiosity to really find out what is going on. And that, to me, is really one of the big successes of MLK 50. Am I right about that?
Oh, absolutely. At the Commercial Appeal, I might have published up to 3 stories a day. So you don't have a whole lot of time to put into each of those. And I'd usually be working on some big project in the background. But here I'm working on usually the big project. And every story is in some ways a big project. So we were able to go out to Parkway Village, the neighborhood most impacted by immigration arrests during the task force period. We were able to go out again and again. If we went out one day and talked to a dozen people and none of them wanted to be in the article, we could go again the next day. And so that was really, I think, powerful and helped us to find, those people who we talk about in the story, like Elmer, the used shoe vendor who Wendy spoke with quite a lot. And kind of became the central person in that particular story. And also just other people who were able to pull the pieces together and show what this impact of this task force has been on just everyday people. And at the CA, we might have had one day to do that, but here we had a much longer period of time.
Absolutely. Ayanna, I know when you're running an operation like this, it takes talent. But it also takes finances and resources to be able to do that. And I think that people, don't necessarily think about that. Tell us about, Ayanna, if you will, tell us about you have a fundraiser coming up. And I want to support, you all as much as we can by letting folks know that you're here and that you're doing the work. Tell us a little bit about what you all have planned.
Absolutely. And we appreciate that, because this kind of reporting that Catherine and Wendi are doing is resource heavy, right? In order to stay with a story and stick with it like this, to keep going back out, to hire translators, to get data, and to order records from the public systems, all of that takes money. And we don't want money to stand between our content and our readers. Folks have enough money troubles as it is.
Yeah.
And so we want to work with those who have the resources to be able to support us and have them become donors and supporters and members in that way. And so this fundraiser, which is coming on the heels of our 9th birthday, if you can believe it, gives us a chance to just really sit back, celebrate, think about what we've done, but also raise the alarm and remind folks this work takes resources, and it's going to take all of us. We want to be community led, but we also want to be community funded. And so we're doing this the best way we know how. And if you remember the movie Sinners,
I do.
We're leaning into the theme, and we're hosting a juke joint and game night fundraiser at the Artist Table on Friday, May 1st. So we're going to have a good time. If you like a theme, you can dress according to the theme. You can be Smoke or Stack or whoever you need to be.
Look at you, Smoke or Stack.
Just come as you are. Exactly. But this will be a time for us to just kick back. And, juke joints are about that. It's a time for working people to have a chance to kick their feet up and just be for a night.
That's a good thing. We all need to be every now and again. That's a good thing. Listen, I really enjoyed talking to you both. This is and congratulations on MLK 50. This is I'm talking about, this is primo stuff. You guys do every single day, and I don't just say stuff. I mean what I say when I say it. You are a gift to our community, and I really appreciate you both. Ayanna Watkins, she's the co-executive director, and Catherine Burgess, one of their amazing reporters. Thank you, ladies, for taking the time tonight to come on the show. I really appreciate it, and give Wendi my best, okay?
Thank you, Chip.
Okay, y'all take care. Thank you so much for being on tonight.
Care.
Thank you. Now, all right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's MLK 50. They ain't no joke. If you really want to dig into what's happening in this community, you need to support them and support this fundraiser that they have. I mean, it takes resources to get things done, and they are absolutely doing that. This has been a great show. I really appreciate it. Before I get out of here, of course, next on the docket here is Event Horizon, hosted by Brent Butler, who's sitting right across from me right now. There he is right there, if you're looking at him on Facebook Live. Bye-bye. Brent, we love your show. We love your music. And Thank you. Are you theme driven tonight, or are you just going to kind of lay it out the way you like to lay stuff out?
Today, I guess the theme could be heavily, on the punk rock side, trying to keep it new. A lot of new releases I'm trying to catch up on and give some recommendations to, but there'll be some curveballs, of course, not just punk rock. You can hear a variety of different genres on Event Horizon.
All right, well, very good. That's coming up in about 2 minutes. Before I get out of here, I had a chance to see Michael last night. If anybody knows me, I kind of like Michael Jackson a little bit. I think I grew up in that generation of the Jackson 5. I saw the movie last night, and I will say this. That Michael's nephew played him extraordinarily well. I mean, if you didn't know, there were moments in that movie where you could swear that was Michael, because he played him that well. He was brilliant in that role. He truly, truly was, and it was a well done movie for as far as it went. Now, I'm not giving away anything, and I'm not telling you anything about it other than and it's not a complete story. And they've already said there's going to be a part 2. And there would have to be a part 2 because, quite honestly, if you're going to do a biopic, then you need to tell the whole story. And last night they told the story from how it began to a certain point in time in 1988, when he was kind of at his peak. And they said at the end, the story will continue. So we know that that's going to happen. I'm going to say this, and then we're going to get out of here. Joseph Jackson, who was the father, he was the matriarch of the family or whatever. He got the guys together and he built this, the group and everything in the whole 9 yards. That guy was a jerk. Now, I'm being really nice when I say it, but man, I'm telling you, and this is nothing that anybody didn't know about him. The kids would tell you about that. Michael told you about it, and a lot of them. He was very, very tough. But sometimes you can be tough, and then you can be overly tough, and forget that these are children that you're dealing with, your children in particular. And I will say that Coleman Domingo, who played Joseph Jackson, was brilliant, and he made me hate him from the time he came off screen till the time he left. Brent, play us out. We're going to get out of here. But I highly recommend you go see the movie, Michael, and make a determination for yourself. But it was pretty well done. It really was. Thanks to my guest. Thanks to my guests for being here this evening. Great conversation. Steve, Mulroy, Natalie, McKinney, and the wonderful ladies, Ayanna and Catherine from MLK 50. If you like what we do and how we do it around here each and every Monday evening, go out and tell somebody, because the more we know, the more we grow, and we want to be your voice in our community. Thank you again, and for all of us here at the Real Talk Memphis, for Lulu, for Bryn, who will be up in just a moment with a fresh Event Horizon, and for yours truly. Hello, it's me. Thank you for being a part of what we do each and every week. I truly appreciate it. Be safe, be careful, watch out for yourself, and watch out for these storms coming the next day or so. Please, 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 please be careful. And for all of us here, thank you again, and we are out. See you.